The doctors couldn't stop crying when they opened this girl's coffin. When the doctors opened the girl's casket, they were unable to control their tears. Doctors are not infallible people. They frequently make mistakes, which sadly have negative consequences, especially can damage the health of patients. The good news, in this case, is that medical errors happen very infrequently, if not never. After several hours of attempts to preserve the life of a baby girl named Emmy, Orlean authorities proclaimed her lifeless. She couldn't make it till her last breath and her parents were devastated. But little did anyone at the hospital knew that there was a miracle yet to strike them like a storm. Emmy was born in 2012 in the United States. Initially the girl was born in perfect health and was about 4 kilograms in weight. Doctors expressed their excitement at the infant and predicted a wonderful future for her. The parents of Emmy had been trying to conceive a child for a very long time. At the age of 20, the mother of the baby had to undergo surgery to remove 1.5 ovaries. And it is almost hard to become pregnant in such a circumstance. Even the physicians, who were helpless to do anything, told them she couldn't conceive. The pair, however, did not give up, and for many months they tried to get pregnant. Although they were offered various experimental and unconventional methods of conception such as in vitro fertilization, the couple always refused. Kate and David have always prayed to God for this one time to be a success. Thankfully, God heard their prayers because, in 2011, the couple was able to tell their family and loved ones the joyful news. Natural conception led to Kate's pregnancy. Kate and David's doctor rubbed his eyes in disbelief and expressed surprise that they had not used any medical procedures to conceive. Everyone on the medical staff who was on duty that day agreed that it was a miracle. There were no difficulties either when it was time to give birth. Kate gave birth naturally to a beautiful 4-kilogram baby girl whom they named Emmy. The baby got 10 points on the scale and was discharged home after only 3 days. The girl developed properly apart from the slight infections. Emmy was in excellent health and had lots of energy. The family enjoyed every day, having no idea that soon they'll face something that will leave them devastated. In 2015, shortly after she turned 3, she began complaining and acting ill. Initially, her parents advised her to recline and take a nap, but her condition did not improve. After a visit to a priest who did not help much, the couple took the ailing child to an ophthalmologist. Kate and David noticed that the little girl had one very abnormal white in her eyes. The ophthalmologist examined her and concluded that it was caused by television viewing before dispensing with the case. Unfortunately, the infant's condition was deteriorating and she was becoming weaker by the hour. Her parents took her to the doctor the following day. After taking one glance at her, he yelled loudly that they needed to head right away to the hospital. The parents were not ready for that answer, but when they looked at the daughter again, they realized that not only her eyes but also her skin was yellow. The girl was brought to a hospital in New Orleans, but after performing preliminary exams, the physicians were unable to give the parents any positive news. The girl had a virus that affected her liver. In fact, the virus had severely damaged the girl's liver so much so that it can't be rebuilt in any way. And to make matters worse, the last hope, a donation from one of the parents, quickly vanished. The parents unfortunately were not in the match and couldn't give their pieces of liver to the child. The doctors expressed their surprise and speculated that Kate might not have been wholly devoted to her husband. Unfortunately, the woman denied everything and refused to reveal who her daughter's true biological father was, saying instead that she trusted God. A dreadful occurrence happened just 1 month after being admitted to the hospital. Already 1 month after being taken to the hospital, a terrible thing happened. The little girl's liver stopped working and she was pronounced deceased. The doctors, who were upset about the situation, hurried the girl to the mortuary. They were aware that the young child might have been saved if Kate had called the girl's biological father. The parents' total breakdown occurred when they learned of their daughter's untimely demise. Katie rushed into the doctor's office after arriving at the hospital directly from her home. The only thing she was able to do, though, was cry. They had to start making funeral arrangements. Amy's parents immediately determined that they didn't want to promote their daughter, which is why they ordered such a service from a funeral home. However, a heavenly miracle occurred while the morgue staff was removing the body of little Amy from the scene in her little coffin. Before the casket was placed in the hearse, someone in the hallway screamed loudly. It was a nurse who had been walking past the coffin when she heard a baby crying. The hospital administrator gave the order to open the coffin. Without hesitation, the morgue staff opened the coffin and found the child inside, who was lying and crying. She was exhausted and chilled, but astonishingly, she was still breathing. She was soon transported to the intensive care unit where all necessary tests were conducted. It turned out that the girl wasn't lifeless, but she was kind of breathless. The doctor who pronounced her dead was unable to explain it, probably due to overwork and anger at the girl's mother. He hurriedly sent her to the morgue. Fortunately, the awake nurse was alert enough to hear the infant whimpering. The parents couldn't believe it when they received the fantastic news, so they hurried to the hospital to see their daughter. Once again approaching Kate, the doctor gave her the go-ahead to call her partner right now. She agreed to everything since she believed that God himself was responsible for bringing her daughter back to life. 2 days later, a healthy liver transplant from one of the father's other partners was accomplished successfully. Thankfully, the girl is probably still alive today.